Oh, let's observe the sublime panorama.
Looking at this sublime panorama, I'm overcome with pastoral ideas.
Looking at this sublime panorama makes me think of cottage cheese.
It makes me think of times gone by.
Looking at this sublime panorama, it makes me think of cotton candy and barf. Shut up, Woodruff.
Headshot cam. Oh, sod.
So, my computer crashed. Okay, no, actually, that's not the entire story, because you see, first, the game crashed. Then, Bandicam, which I was using to record the game, also crashed. And then I opened Task Manager to resolve the problem, and then Task Manager crashed, and then the entire Windows crashed, and I had to reboot the computer. We've lost about 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes of this recording, and as such we also lost a couple of puzzles that we did, now officially off screen. We brought up the Tobozon, right? We digited Ka, Zigs, Dis, Nuts. We listened to the weatherman report. A meteorite falling. Children are going to die. Mega winds around. Bring out your Mary Poppins kites. Your children will be carried away by the wind. Tie a weight on them, and all the jokes that we did, etc., etc. So now he said something, and then we went to a Russian guy who owned a broken table, which had a Blackster nut as a substitute for a leg, and then a piece of meteorite crashed on our heads, and we took the piece of meteorite, we gave it to the guy in exchange to the Blackster nut, and now we have to open the Blackster nut to get to the juicy pulp inside of it, and we need to use another meteorite falling from the skies to open the Blackster nut. Everybody got that?
Yes.
And I am visibly agitated. Also, what the hell did the weatherman just say? I was not listening to him.
I could not hear him over your ranting, sorry.
Okay, so we need to place the Blackster nut on top of the X once the meteorite is falling, but we cannot do that because the Blackster nut will roll away if we do that, which means we have to go back to the Winos Alley where the tar is to put the nut inside the tar so that the Blackster nut can have tar on it, and we can glue it on top of the X, and thus everything will be alright.
Yes, and we can actually nut with a permit. Well, without one, I should say.
Actually, I wonder... Yes, even without listening to the weather report, I figured that there would be rain on the red light district.
Or not.
Or not. Or yes!
That was weird.
What the heck is wrong with this boy? She's thinking.
Yeah.
Is putting a can on top of the X he painted? Well, that's not normal. He's not normal. I'm judgmental.
He is just staring off into space as well.
Okay.
Suddenly rain came.
And now what is he doing now? He's picking up the can. There was a hole on it. Is this the guy who's going to find the Schnibble and save us all? I'm starting to have my doubts. She's very silently judging.
Yeah.
I don't trust this
Very
guy.
sad.
I don't trust this guy. So that's one of the many brilliant jokes that we spontaneously combusted in the recording that no longer exists.
Yep.
It's even funnier the second time, isn't it? So remember that this can
Holy can.
has a hole in it. It's a holy can, and you have no idea how right you are when you say that. This is one of the many ways in which the game cleverly reminds you that this can has a hole in it. Remember it.
Remember.
Remember
To the winos.
can. To the winos.
And to the street outside.
Of course, we couldn't just use this brush with tar on the nut, because that would make too much sense. And this game, as we established, did not program its own inventory to function like any other inventory would in a game like this. You cannot use items in your inventory with other items within your inventory. So which means you have to take the longest possible route in order to solve puzzles that you might have figured out ages ago otherwise. You might be shocked to hear this, but this is the point of the game in which I desperately needed a walkthrough as I was younger.
Right.
Alright, weatherman, let's hear the reports.
Let's hear the Kazakh Stoblaz report.
Kazakh this nuts.
At the Bigwig place, some violent winds which are going to escalate up to 333 kilometers an hour. At the red light district, blue skies with some rain showers disappearing. This was the latest weather report.
Oh.
And now he's sad because his sons have disappeared.
So, did he say the Administration Bureau?
No, he just said about rain and winds.
A hurricane is going to kill all your family! Better buy those toilet papers!
The weather report cannot control my freedoms. I'm staying put in this hurricane.
Zig Stoblaz Kamehameha wave.
The landing of a huge meteorite is expected in front of the administration center, while on the tower side of the prison, some clearing will develop with some violent winds reaching 217 kilometers an hour. That was the latest weather report.
I have to say it like this because they have a gun pointed at me.
Okay, so remember, Davar, a huge meteorite is going to fall on our heads.
Yep, in the administration area.
Yes, it is
Funny enough,
huge.
Funny enough, it's in the same area we solved the puzzle last time.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, sorry.
It's important that you remember that this meteorite is huge!
Yes, huge by... what standards we're looking at again?
Ants.
Pants? Okay.
Ants. I suppose that if you were an ant, that meteorite would look very huge! It's all a matter of perspective, you see.
I guess that means the weather report man basically sees his own life as being insignificant, like that of an ant.
Voiced by Woody Allen. He sucks.
Wouldn't Woody Allen more sound like, well, we got a weather report today, and it's gonna be like a huge meteorite. Yeah.
What is this nutter doing here? Why did he paint the road? Does he have a permission to do that? And now the nutter is putting a nut on the painting.
Is he going to nut the street?
You need several permissions to nut in public. So much paper. So much paper to nut in public. Well, this was an abridged version of all the funny jokes we made last time.
I feel like my first take was way better on bringing that joke in.
Yes, well, it was more spontaneous at the time.
And spontaneous and me don't go well together.
Regardless, we have a pulp. This is
Oh, Bloodster.
This is officially a Blackster pulp fiction. Stay tuned for more jokes at 8. I'm going to save now. I'm going to save a lot more often, and please remind me to do so.
Okay, will do. Hopefully we'll not lose this part of the game too.
Hopefully. Right.
So now we need to look for something else.
Weatherman.
The landing of a huge meteorite is expected at the Bigwig place, while there will be winds reaching up to 548 kilometers an hour in front of the administration center. This was the latest weather report.
Were they tickling the voice actor, or...?
Oh boy.
That's not the report I wanted.
Yes, this is not the report we want.
Locally, some showers in the red light district, while lightning will strike unceasingly the Slammer's dead end. This was the latest weather report.
So basically rain at the red light district,
Yes.
like last time.
So, aside from lightning, which is useless to you, you will need rain, meteorite, and wind in some capacity or another in order to progress.
To the waterless fountain.
Okay, another aspect that you completely missed during the recording that no longer exists is that I planted a nut of some description, a seed, in this fountain over here.
Right.
Which, I remind you, I have taken that seed from that underground laboratory connected to the asylum that I was not supposed to be able to visit at this point in time, but we did sequence break last time.
Because those are lovely, those sequence breaks. We'll take that.
Hey, pal, buy one of my hats. It's the original Bazook striped hat. It's hand-made. Feel it, and you'll see. It's not expensive. Only one straw.
Prosy D, is that you?
I like the detail that you know, he does that sound as if like he's got a pipe in his mouth, which is a neat detail.
He also totally sounds like a Muppet.
Why do you sell hats? This job does not fit you at all.
What insight! You are right. I am a Bazook.
He sounds sarcastic.
Wise brand, the talent
Very.
wise brand.
For a talent-wise man, you're not very talented, are you?
Well, he
If
lost
you're
his
out
mojo. He lost his syllable.
Ah, yeah, that old chestnut.
That old chestnut! Oh wait, no, it's not a nut anymore, it's a pulp. Well, that joke is ruined.
But we had a
What are you
nut.
doing here then? Why aren't you at the temple?
Well, I thought it would be preferable to put some distance between me and the Widespread Council, since I lost my artistic syllable. So I sell souvenirs while waiting for better days.
Is he throwing kisses at me?
Maybe.
So you see, I'm selling hats now. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Am I being too subtle?
Also, One stroll for a kiss.
Woodruff is not into that. Okay.
Is there something I could do for you?
My wife and I, we have little conflict. If you go by the temple, talk to her on my behalf. My room's digicode is Carl.
Carl's. Okay.
Las
Why do you
Gosney.
sell hats? This job does not fit
Okay.
you.
Okay, so we've got that sorted.
So, if you recall, and I have no reason to believe you will ever be able to recall, hey, I said this exact same thing last time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like deja vu.
Right. The guard at the temple that which we need to visit would let us in if we gave him a nut, a Blockster nut. Of course, he wanted the pulp inside the nut because, famously, the outside is the hardest in the universe. That's why we needed to contrive a situation in which a piece of meteorite would fall on top of the nut, which we did.
Yep, we got it. I hope he appreciates it.
Let's see what the president has to say.
My fellow citizens, the situation is grave.
Pick your
We
poison,
have to
Reagan,
make
Bush, or
sacrifices
Clinton.
because our
All the above.
economy is in shambles. If we don't take steps right now to correct this, we are headed to disaster. I have to impose new taxes for the sake of our nation. I am counting on everybody's sense of responsibility and civility to help us go through these bad times. But don't you worry too much now, because the air you breathe is still free. Ciao, I have to go jogging now.
Spoken like a true world leader.
Yep, and very close to the bone, as I said last time, considering the current situation we're all in. Also, replace jogging with golfing, and you'll have the same thing.
Does it make money?
Not much. I'm paid with burls.
He sounds vaguely Jewish, like a Jewish comedian playing up his own accent, which might be offensive, depending on how good you are in your impression of Seinfeld, and I am not very good at it. I can try to talk like this, and what's the deal with the pearls inside these other pearls, and I get paid pearls? You see, it's terrible.
Yeah,
What
incredibly.
conditions?
Only distraction is listening to the president speaking on the Dobazon.
Again,
Tell
the
me, dear
text
friend, what
says
are you
radio,
doing?
but voice
Well,
says
string burls,
on.
a laborious job.
So you get paid in pearls to basically string pearls. That makes sense.
Anyway,
Passage to the top, passage to the bottom.
before venturing inside the temple, which is just up there, if the arrow would deign to go up. Before doing that, let's go to the red light district. We have some rain to catch. This time, we have the appropriate container.
Yes, we totally do. Take a wild guess which container it is we have that will catch the rainwater.
Well, it most certainly is not the can, because as we established, it has a hole in it. Remember that? Oh look! Oh look! He's back. What is he up to now?
He comes by here often.
That's
looks at us-
concerning.
He looks at a stupid watch thing. And he's-
Man, that jaunt, that strut of him sure inspires confidence. Sarcasm.
he paints a cross on the ground again.
Not this again. Is he going to dig for treasure? And now he's putting a hat on the ground?
And he just stands there, staring to nothing. Oh,
Wait.
now he's patiently waiting.
Can you hear what I'm thinking? Hold on a second. That hat is not supposed to be able to hold water. That makes no sense.
And yet, here we are.
Right.
Water hat. Maybe we should save.
I just realized there was a much more convenient shortcut between the district and the Fountain Plaza. Which actually makes no sense, because we are supposed to be one floor above the Red District. I don't know how the geography in this place works.
No, I honestly don't understand it either.
Let's water the seed that I planted here.
Okay. A schnappler
a plant. We have Schnappler spice. Yay! Alright, now let's save.
Yeah, let's save. Wait, what you gonna call this? Zig.
Oh.
You can only go so far. Kazio.
Okay. Before proceeding,
Casio.
I would like to set the record straight in that I do not actually hate this game. It has its problems and its flaws. It is near and dear to my heart for entirely nostalgic reasons. But unlike the last recording, not the one that's lost to time, the actual one that happened,
Yeah.
in which I spent an inordinate amount of time denigrating this game, criticizing its many flaws and unmet promises. This time I want to go to the opposite route. I want to actually try and praise this game for what it does right, for what it is good about it.
Yeah.
First off, there is the animation, which I think it's pretty neat. It is not spectacular, but for the time it is quite good. Even all of Woodruff's increasingly annoying idle animations, which are many and varied, those are good too. There are characters in the background, sometimes moving about, giving said background some form of life and lived-in feeling to it. And speaking of which, the environments in this game are fantastic, in my humble estimation. Now, the term environmental storytelling is thrown around quite a lot nowadays, mainly in an attempt to convince me that Dark Souls is totally cool and deep. Deep and meaningful. But in this case, it is fair to actually state that the environments do a lot of heavy lifting, in the sense that they tell a story, the story that the game's own text was not able to fully tell with its limited means.
Yeah.
For example, the slums, the starting area, they have this sickly green filter to them, which conveys this idea that the place is miserable. Then you have the red light district, which is full of invasive colors that overload your senses, akin to a bad acid trip. And then you have the home of happiness, the asylum, with this horizontal corridor, which is claustrophobic, and it gives you this idea that the place is inescapable. Unless, of course, you glitch through it, like we did.
Yeah, sequence break.
Yes, we sequence break last time. Again, I remind you, I planted a seed here that I found in that place that I glitched through.
Yeah, so we can have this thirsty bush, essentially.
And now, we finally get to go inside the Buzuk Temple, as promised.
I just realized I made a very bad innuendo just then.
I noticed the innuendo, but I did not give it weight.
Good.